Mulibwanji, my name is Amess in Tala. I have 3 biological children, but I'm also taking care of extra children, 4 of them, making 7. So I am a mother of 7 children, and I'm also a widow. So I became a widow at the age of 26. By then, I was at the seminary studying together with my husband. So it was like 2009. But I came at the seminary when I was 7 months pregnant. So after 1 semester, I gave birth to a baby boy named Joshua. But my husband was studying certificate in theology. I was studying diploma in theology. But in 2010, I was qualified to do degree in theology. But at the end of 2010, my husband got sick and he was diagnosed with liver cancer. It was very hard, and honestly, it's very challenging to be a widow, and it's something else to be a widow. I wanted to quit my studies and take care of my children, but some of the people encouraged me to go forward and persevere. So I chose to persevere, and I finished my studies in 2012. So after finishing, the seminary called me to help them teaching Hebrew and Greek. So I was very happy to help them, because to me it was like also giving back to the seminary, because like 4 years I didn't pay anything at the seminary. The seminary was paying for my school fees, so it was like giving back to the seminary, going back and help them teaching Hebrew and Greek. But now in 2013, one of the orphanages in our area called me to help them to take care of the children at the orphanage. So it was like I was doing 2 things, teaching at the seminary, but also taking care of the orphans at the orphanage. But when I started like working there is when I saw the challenges of the widows. In Malawi, it is very hard for a lady to be a widow, for a woman to be a widow. So these are some of the challenges that widows are facing in Malawi. For example, there's the issue of property grabbing. If a woman, the husband dies, the relatives from husband's side come and take everything from her. They leave her with children only, but not with any support. So it's very hard, because she's not only like being alone, but also she is unable to take care of like the children, because she's left with nothing. That's why when I was working at the orphanage, most of the widows were coming in, dropping in their children, saying, okay, because I have nothing to do with them, it's better, it's good for them to be here at the orphanage. So it's like a cultural thing. In Malawi, it's like if you go to like social welfare organizations to help you, nothing is done, nothing is done. So what normally several widows are doing is like they are selling their bodies to some men, because they want to be provided with money to feed their children. But also some of the widows are even reaching to the point of marrying their daughters to the big men so that they can be provided with food for that day. So it is very, very, very challenging. Another challenge is like if you are a widow and you are chatting with a certain man's husband, it's like you are a husband snatcher. You want to take away that man, but it's very hard. So what happens to the widows is like they live alone. It's like they have no hope. It's like the world is end. It's like the world is unfair, and it's like God has forsaken them. That's why we started Hope for Widows group in Malawi. In 2017, end of 2017, that was August, we started meeting as widows. We were encouraging each other, especially with the word of God. And also we said, okay, let's help each other to do small businesses. And we started like a microfinance project at the end of 2018. A certain lady came from Canada. Her name was Julia. I don't know what she's doing now, but she's from Canada. She's like 22 years now. So she gave us money to start this project. In 2018 we started, and the widows were doing very well. And most of them sent back their children to school. And also we empowered ourselves. It was like this project helped them to empower themselves, and it was very good. So in 2019, we thought of introducing some skills. For example, a certain lady from America gave us money to buy sewing machine. We did, and we trained the widows to sew bags and school uniforms. So it was like a good deal, because in our community, every kid need a school uniform. So the widows were trained, and in 2018, end of 2018, we said, okay, we can also add another business for the widows. So we thought of jerseys. In Malawi, especially June and July is very cold. I don't know there in Canada, but here in Malawi it's like June and July. So we said, okay, if we can introduce this business, people will be coming to us and order more sweaters, because it's very cold for the kids to go to school. So a certain lady gave us money to buy this knitting machine, and what we did was, after selling the sweaters, we empowered ourselves and buy another knitting machine from the profit that we had. So the business is going on well. So because we had no place where to do this, I gave on my house to the widows to come in and do sewing and also knitting. But the space is too small. That's why God gave me this vision of having a vocational training center, so that widows can come and be trained in different skills, but also the widows' children. Because here in Malawi, the college thing is very expensive. Widows will not manage to send their children to college. So this vocation training center will help widows' children to come in and be trained in different skills and earn money each and every day. So in so doing, we will help the widows not to marry their daughters to the big men, because at the end they will have HIV and AIDS, and also not for the widows to send their children to streets to beg, because it is a belief that widows are beggars. So we are discouraging, we are cutting that belief. We want to empower widows. We want widows to be self-sufficient. They need to be provided for themselves. So be praying for us that God will finish this plan, because as of now, what we did is we have purchased the land like halfway down, and we are still putting money into that project by selling the sweaters and also selling the bags, selling the necklaces, and selling the bracelets. We are selling several things to raise funds to finish purchasing this land and having it built for vocational training center. So this is our vision, this is our dream, but we believe, because God is the father of the fatherless and He's a husband to a widow, He will provide for us. I'm really encouraged by you ladies, but I also want to encourage you that you need to stand firm in the Lord, because being a widow is not an easy thing. But trust the Lord, He will provide for you. We'll be praying for you, and please be praying for us. May the good Lord bless you. Bye.